As Christians, we think we've got worship pretty well figured out. It's almost like we've made it into an art form and yet settled for summing it up into a single repetitive action. But what if we were to re-examine the act of worship? If we were all honest with ourselves, I think we would discover that worship is way bigger than anything we've tried to define it as before. Let's start by looking at what worship is not. Worship is not a style. It's not something on stage. It's not what is contemporary. Worship is not what is popular. Worship is definitely not keeping up with the Joneses. Worship is not just music. Worship is not just on Sunday. It's not knowing the right words. Worship is not being seen. Worship is not about being on pitch. Worship is not about your preference. Worship is not about your comfort zone. It's not about your situation. And worship is not your inability to carry a tune. Worship is not a tradition but an affection. It's not an attending but a serving. Worship is not a suggestion, but it's our purpose. It's not an obligation, but an eruption. It's not a habit, but it's a yearning. Worship is not a contest, but it's all about your character. Worship is not a script, but it's a response. Worship is not a concert, but it's a joyful noise. It's not an action, it's a lifestyle. And worship is most definitely not about you. Now that we've cleared all that out of the way, the only thing that's left is our God. You see, worship is nothing more than a reflection. A reflection that may look a little skewed from the original, but all of it is a reflection of how we view our God. So, what does your reflection look like?